onto half as his whole body's sticking this one. What do they have to push this one off? It's only bullets flying forwards and away, but still half gain. Som sticking in, nothing to deny. The charge against him. Gecko with the defuse. Look at that wingman already getting the half. Alliance T9.
And we're going to map 3, and here we go. Okay, we got a big zoom in there. I wasn't ready for that one.
Chowing down.
Yeah, right, chowing down on that potassium. Of course, C9 manages to pick up the dub on Icebox, a big win that they needed in order to keep themselves in the running for a spot in the playoffs here. Let's not forget what's on the line. NRG, though, need this win to stay alive, but in their way was, well, Oxy. He went off that game. That kid was on fire. Finally, right? Finally. That's what we wanted to see.
This guy just had the most dominant performance we have seen here in Stage 2. I mean, just lights out on this Reyna. Starting out on defense, this guy got 20 kills in the first 12 rounds of the game. Went on to have 33 in total. But his Reyna was the reason they were getting these rounds.
Yeah, this was an all-timer performance for Oxy, and I mean, their attacking side in particular on this map, they've been struggling there a lot, but they've been great on it on Icebox. The way they're hitting A, scaling around Oxy has been excellent, and I mean, just giving Oxy a character where he has full agency to go take his one, find his opportunity to overheat into these rounds without big implications, just powers this guy up. And you can see the result.
Praying for those results.
Finally, we see some energy. We see the Oxy that we know have that fire into him. And like, look at that. That's
wow, what a massive difference from that Stage 1 to Stage 2. But good to see him really step up here against NRG and
That's the thing, right? Because the team had talked about playing less around him. He had not been performing at the level when he was dominating back during Stage 1, and then comes in with an unreal Icebox performance.
And I want to give credit to the rest of Cloud9 too. I mean, Moose winning that pivotal clutch at the very end to close things out. I think they played a much tighter game, had really good trading and scaling off the space that Oxy was taking throughout that map, and also showing some super good mental resiliency to stay in that game, especially after that Som round, right?
Especially after that was crazy. That was such an insane round that we were just watching. We were like, how?
And that came after the defuse, I believe, as well. Didn't use the dismiss and didn't get the defuse.
It was insane. Back-to-back round losses like that. But another person I want to shout out is Vanity on that defensive side. He was great, supporting Oxy as well. He was up there, man. He had like 20 of his own.
Yeah, no, I think he was really solid, and honestly, like, finding ways to, like, call in such a crazy game. I cannot stress this enough. This was one of the craziest games of Valorant I have ever watched. Whether it was that insane 3K while the spike is being diffused, to at the end of the game, right? The final round, the spike is in spawn, C9 are in defender spawn.
Yeah, 3 guys in different parts of the map.
Each other. You rewind 2 rounds before that, it's 10-10, and NRG are going for this refight in B main over on yellow, and their flash gets blocked by the orb, a known interaction. But it is just ridiculous how many of these micro things altered the course of the game that genuinely could have gone either way.
And that's huge for NRG, because this is their game to stay alive. If they had 2-0'd here against Cloud9, they would have stayed in the running for playoffs. They would have set themselves up for success. That map differential would have been different. But all these little things now have kept Cloud9 in it. And now they have a great chance to clinch playoffs in map 3.
Yeah, and, I mean, another thing, too, that we were really, hammering C9 on was that attack, and we definitely saw that improvement there. It felt like they watched our desk and then was like, all right, we're going to do everything that they said.
That is not what they did, Golden. That's
I like to think people care about the things we say here.
No one cares.
This is factual.
Okay.
Aww,
keep collecting your paycheck. Anyways, no. Honestly, though, like,
and I will.
Icebox was not my concern, because, like, the attack thing, yes, they sorted things out on this map, but I still need to see a good attack from them on Sunset, because when you look at their last 2 series, their Icebox against G2, I believe, went very similarly to this, where they won 9 out of 12 of their attacking rounds. That has been the only map they have figured out, and we still need to see that carry over into a map 3 if they're going to win and lock themselves into playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think a big key factor of why they have success on this Icebox is that, Oxy has less of a leash, and like he's actually getting supported in the right ways. Because when it comes down to Icebox, you think of site hits, site exec utility, and then you play a post plant. Now, when we're actually enabling Oxy to get onto the site, and he's able to get on there, he'll dominate. And that's what we saw right now. So if they can replicate some type of success like that on Sunset, where maybe he doesn't die right away when he's entering into the actual site, he can own.
So we haven't seen Cloud9 play Sunset since the start of Stage 2. Since
you think we'll see Neon?
That have come through. And honestly, I think there's a world where we do. Oxy, I love when they're playing these comps where they put a lot into him. I think he's a great movement player. His best role has always been the raise. I feel like it makes a lot of sense, but we get the spoiler there.
Yeah, he's on their raise.
A little bit of a spoiler there, brother.
He's great at that role.
Yeah, well, we're going to get Victor on the Neon, though, for NRG, so we're going to see that come back into play here.
This has been my favorite map to watch from this new NRG. I think Finesse's attack side calling is great. I love the set plays around the Neon.
And we'll see what we get from, Clove.
Double smoke comp here. That is interesting.
Yeah, so honestly, I expect this team on defense, especially attack 2, to be taking a lot of space into mid because you have extra smokes to be able to burn on that. That is wild. They're looking to fight a lot with the Clove pick.
Well, you heard our analysts. Let's see how this plays out. It's now time to start map 3. We're going to send it back to your casters one last time. Van Silly and Rivington.
Thank you, GB. Tiebreaker map now on Sunset, and Cloud9 are pulling out all stops, a Clove in their composition. And Mimi mentioned it, they haven't played this since the beginning of stage 2 rather, and maybe going with this double controller is a way to answer back into NRG's playstyle. And I do agree with what Ender was saying here, Riv. There's a possibility because you have all of these controllers, double controller, lots of smokes, so you go for mid control, but they are still lacking a lot of that stun fight that you potentially have here from a Breach or from a Neon. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how C9 is going to work the defensive side.
Their reactive could suffer, but I feel like their stall, like Ender saying, and all the smokes, they can just keep re-upping the smoke, causing NRG to use util to get into these positions a little bit more than they would want to before they get to the site. And we'll see that. Already 2 smokes, 1 towards mid from that attack side of NRG in the one-way for long here. Looking to aftershock out the trips as they slide on into B for a first round hit here.
And that's where the combination and the composition of NRG is too good now for these B-side hits, aftershock breaking trips, or it could just be a prowler. There's a lot of utility you could use. Now a pop flash and then try to push back towards the spawn. Unfortunately, it does not connect for the pain shells that were thrown, but it's a 1-for-1 at least for now. 4-on-4, a flood back from Boba. Right-click classes preventing on the 2. Make that even 3rd. Finesse now trying to stay alive, half HP. Up in contact, 2 players swinging out. And Cloud9 get the pistol.
A pistol for Cloud9 to start it off. Usually the second half has been where they've been finding that success, but here, very big from Vanity once again to come up with a lot of kills. Team swarms perfectly on that, and a good reaction too, leaving the site open after the trips went down immediately. Staying in sight against the Neon is just dead to rights, so they go for the retake against that, and it's the right choice. I feel like C9 might have trouble as it comes to with the breach, with the fade. I'm really interested to see how they're going to play around all this util NRG attacks the site with. Right now, it's to be on the front lines and push out of B with all these pings behind them. Let's see what NRG has planned.
He's trying to avoid it. A top smoke to let it slowly drop down so that Vanity can get first blood. They're at the Victor being chased down. GB's away, but Crashies is chasing him down. Rudy then answers back towards the middle. No opportunities to split for NRG. And no opportunities yet to get the plant down. Weapon upgrade at least, as Moose is hiding inside this smoke. It's up to Ethan and Som. The upgrade was a Bulldog, so they do have firepower. Moose about to get backstabbed. That's another weapon down here for Ethan to pick up after the plant. But instead now too far out of reach. They need to fight together. The backstab coming out. Beautiful pop flash outside of the close smoke. And that is going to be Cloud9 in the end.
Yeah.
Playing and converting the anti-eco.
Really nicely played. You can see Som holding 6 bullets, and that Bulldog kind of hesitating, waiting to get the reload on, and that's exactly when you heard the pop flash out of the smoke you were calling there. Nicely played as NRG tried to find a window of recuperation on that post-plant. The C9 grabbed 2. Losing a few members, though. Let's see if they keep these weapons down on Vanity and Moose here so they can get some rifles for the bonus round. It looks like they will. So those 2 classics are going to be buys for Moose and Vanity next round, as we have NRG's bonus coming out here. Oh, look at a stinger on Moose.
Yeah, NRG's buy round. Looking for that mid control. And right now for Cloud9 with Remember, the amount of smokes that Ender was talking about, it's not the plan yet here to fight back against that. Just a camera play to look for a trap play towards the long A. So a gamble. That NRG, we're going to try to pivot towards the A site to probe the area to see how C9 works the defensive side, but instead, NRG goes in for a split to B.
FNS holding market along with Sam is going to be very tough for C9 to make it across that area. It looks like they'll go full for spawn, and it's just going to be Vanity trying to get the lurk kills on at the last moment.
That's a flash that's going to fully blind one. Cage comes up. Finesse is trying to keep the players alive. That's a 1-for-1. Oxy drives by with the Spectre to drop both players inside market. Ethan realizing that he has to push back towards the spawn. Able to get the headshot onto Rooney. There's a late backstab happening through, but Vanity's very slow on this. All the players committed for energy inside this A side. There's the first walkout. Nobody's clearing it. Both of them drop and no opportunities then for Vanity to get the defuse. He's looking for exits. And as he hears the players retreat out, the second smoke comes up. And looks like Rooney didn't want to give a chance here for Vanity to get a kill.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, that's your smoke.
Yep.
What are you doing? Maybe he thought he was going to try to continuously run through the smoke and give him some entrance cover. But really, just denial cover there as we see it. So a few kills for Oxy. We are getting the Raze ult online, but that is going to be a stop for NRG to Cloud9's first few rounds. Bonuses grabbed. We'll get those full gun round coming in here. Rooney's ultimate is up too, so we'll see how they try to use that if they have a protocol around it once the site hit comes in. And our first pressure over towards A here for NRG in round 4.
It's fast. The paranoia is pushing Oxy away. As you see Victor just hightailing inside the elbow. Slide through, counter flash. Half blind is Victor. And fast lanes up and looks to retreat. Lots of utilities being exchanged so far, but there's no information on either end of how many players are actually committed on both sides of the wall here of the A site.
That was fast. I mean, look at Zeppa. He doesn't even have util left. Just to heal. So again, NRG slow it down. One of FNS's favorite things. Give me time in this round. And they're just waiting for C9 to get these little peeks in. Just a little more info. The trips are keeping NRG safe from anything that's behind them. All they have to do is look forward.
They found my wire.
They don't want to overcommit here on these jiggle peaks. But as the Prowler does so, forces the hand, but Rooney's not done yet. Comes back out, here's a fight towards the A side. Oxy drops 2, but Finesse is pushing forward. They pinch in towards the A side, the hat comes out to get information of the last 2, but unfortunately here Moose falls. And Vanity full kit, but up against 3 players, and Ethan with the Rolling Thunder inside the site, if needed be. Jump spot now. They know that Vanity is on top of the dumpster. They could just wait it out. Karashi is just waiting here for a second contact to come through. You already see the camera towards the elbow as well. That's Finesse watching towards the entrance of the A site. So everything in favor of NRG for that round. For this round, rather, in the post plan, and Vanity is going to give it up.
Yeah, just patience from NRG. I think Cloud9 there, maybe a little miscommunication across the map. We saw as soon as Vanity destroyed that trip over at B main, they pushed down that pawn shop side towards dumpster of A, trying to get info on both sides of the extremities. You almost know once Vanity takes that trip, they're market or towards A. So they walked right into NRG as if the communication was not there, that Vanity didn't see anything. I think that's going to be a miss for C9 and why NRG is just able to collapse on these. I mean, great attempt from Oxy in the site. You can only do so much as you're getting doubled up on teammates. And man, Finesse just continues to pop off in these situations when he's presented with a possible multi-kill. So there's 2 more in favor of NRG. Rolling Thunder's up after this. Victor's 1 off of ult. Sam's going to be there soon too. They should be able to roll this over pretty easily into another round with the low buy also of C9.
Looks like it was something similar here to like a B split type of hit. Camera could spot B main. They have the showstopper that's close. Paranoia could push forward and allowing C9 to really fight against an NRG push towards the B site. But the read is good and the call is good for Finesse to have the attack side pivot more towards A at the beginning. It's an early rotate at least though for Cloud9.
Yeah, they're ready. So he's collapse with the utility and try to be ready for this hit.
Oh, misses the satchel, but does not miss the rocket onto Crashies. That's initiation down, but there's still a Rolling Thunder available for Ethan. Want to try to re-hit the site.
My ult's ready.
Overdrive now available on top of that with Victor. And no smokes are going to be a little bit pesky here. Blocking the vision for NRG to try to come in. There's our Rolling Thunder. There's the overdrive as well. And the paranoia hits Victor right away. Through smokes, we get kills. That's Oxy and Vanity to fall. Traded right back. But health advantage and make that even the frenzy advantage, catching Ethan off guard. Long range with the Guardian. Som is left alone. And you hear now Rooney getting the last pick. Cloud9 once again with the lead.
Zappo with the frenzy there. We don't even see frenzies that much anymore, honestly. But yeah, super good in that close quarter situation when you don't want to spend too much, and it is a Vandal return on that investment. Beautifully done. I think it was really good of Cloud9 to do a little less peeking out with their bodies and a little more util peek. They had the showstopper there. They start peeking out of smokes after util, and yeah, it's a lot harder for NRG to collapse down onto the site there. Great util, especially using the Rolling Thunder and not being able to come up with that win. Cloud9's loving it. They are enjoying everything about this right now, especially if they can keep the momentum going. We're going to see NRG, one of their first or second moves towards mid here.
Paranoia trying to play it close. Will be able to manage to get the kill at the Crashies, but Som jumps right back. Meets Vanity, drops him. Victor trips one up towards the B site, but nobody is going to be able to spray him down. So those two players staying alive. Oh, actually, all three are in group for NRG. Back towards the news. And C9, they have camera watching front B site. They got a dog watching now, spotting the players towards news. And there's that pinch from behind from Oxy. Looking to walk up. There's that ADS. There's that tap on the first. And there's that double swing towards the end, at least for the information, as Rooney's trying to do the same. Is doing some pop damage at least, but Ethan and Som are trying to rotate towards the A site, and Ethan survives at 7.
They've split the map for a plant above and against all the odds here, just being searched up by C9. And now recoup back towards spawn. Ethan and Som are ready to defend. Som takes the high ground, and he just gets hit out by Moose. Completely red on the play.
At least there's no utility right now for them to flash through, so Ethan could play outside in the open, maybe catch some players off guard. There's that spike, there's that first kill. There's that second swing. He has 2 flashes to work with. Rudy turns away. Now hiding ground towards the slant. Runs across! Ethan with the Red Bull clutch! At 7 HP, are you kidding me?
I know, I'm great.
He didn't even look nervous. Didn't even look like it was a problem. Yes, hydrate. Som just laughing. Ethan not even moving, not even flinching in his facial expression here, as it's just another round. A 4K in the end, though. And even peeks out. He re-peeks that. Doesn't even wait for the spike to be diffused. That's some disgusting confidence right there. Yeah, I'd call have a timeout after that as well.
Oh,
but NRG is going to be calling this timeout.
Exactly.
So they even up the game, and Chet still wants a word with the squad.
That gives at least a chance now with this timeout from NRG so that Imi could start calling things across now.
True.
Yes, you're trying to stop the momentum for Cloud9 because they've been looking pretty good here on the defensive side. This is something new that Chet and Finesse has to prep on the fly here because of this second controller coming out for Rooney. But on the other end, though, that type of triple swing that was a one-on-one and a loss to Ethan, that doesn't work out in the favor of Cloud9, and you see it here. An instant timeout coming out of Cloud9 at the same time, and Imi definitely wanted to let that message known.
I can't recall the last time I've seen this, honestly. You get 2 minutes of chat time with the squad, so this is also NRG still chatting. And we have to remember that round was NRG basically out of it. They had to figure out a way across the map, basically through hot lava, into a site, and still find the win. That kind of stuff for NRG, I think Chet comes in, relays what happened on the round, because that was one of the first ones we really saw NRG try to go through mid, other than the pistol round, maybe how Cloud9 reacted, and a lot of discussion of just what's going on the map here, because it seems like we're going to get some new strats after this. It's been A, B, a few mid, and teams are reading each other really well in these situations. So yeah. Imi's the last one to call that timeout, as we're going to get back into game on round 7 here. A little bit of a low buy on the side of Cloud9 as we get into this round. and no real big ultimates to be worrying about on this one. But wait, Ethan's almost to his Rolling Thunder again, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, a plant and a 3K, that's 4 multiples for you. And looking for the control for the A side first, but not necessarily for orb control as the objective at the beginning. And you see on the side of C9, though,
Yep.
after this double timeout, they're buying just enough to have a pretty healthy buy in the next, but still coming out with 2 rifles. And there's that walk down. Tried to play the contact, and Ethan, you mentioned that Rolling Thunder almost available, gets it after these 2 kills.
And we do get to different strats, but it feels like C9 wanted to play contact there. That's what we saw as these shots come in from Market. Not enough. I'm almost saying, where are the smokes? You double smokes and they contact towards mid. They're trying to catch NRG off guard, but you can make these situations safer. C9 is playing very high risk for the reward they want on these rounds, and while it is a lower buy and you can go a little weird on it, go outside the box in your push, they don't really come up with too much. And it was a good read by NRG to play it slow on the mid too, so they did not lose that space right away on the round. So after the timeouts, NRG pull it into their favor in a 4-3. Rolling Thunder back. And still not too many kills going to the side of C9 to build up those ults just yet, or even having the orb control on B. They are playing back out of sight on both sides, knowing this Rolling Thunder could be a problem. Except for Oxy. Except for Oxy just misses Victor. He didn't decide to peek.
Dog pushes forward, though. That gives the information there, and he hears the high gear left behind. Vanity once again tested towards the news. Crashes, gets hit by a trip. There's more trips coming through, and Moose will be able to get that spray onto Finesse. A rare run through the smoke with no information, gets punished for it. Sees to keep players behind for Cloud9. Now the hat gets thrown out. There's information of where NRG are at. All pinned, clumped inside the B side. Rolling Thunder that's been rolled out now by Ethan. Backstab now by Oxy. Could have been a 3 into the round, but Sam is able to stop him in his tracks. Disadvantage, though, for NRG. As at least they get the plant down. 4 versus 2. Make that only Ethan alone. And this time around, it's a 4-player face and not a 1-2-1-2-1 to allow Cloud9 to get the defuse and tie the game once more.
All right, so we're impressed that Ethan is getting Rolling Thunders, but now they've lost both rounds. They've used Rolling Thunder on that. This one not being able to push through the smoke that actually held off Boba on the retake from Cloud9. And this push through, like you said, a little uncharacteristic of what we would see in the round altogether from NRG, as they just kind of W'd with confidence to start this one, giving Moose that first kill. And yeah, no follow-up on the Rolling Thunder means they just walk out of Boba and start popping people easy. So we're back up to a tied game. Rooney with that ultimate. Last time they used it over towards A and tried to get a push on what was happening in that A main lobby area. And we're gonna see NRG start flexing towards B. It's been a few rounds here, so they're hoping to get the soft side out of Cloud9.
Another dropping smoke coming out from Vanity just to see if they can catch a timing, but it's instead NRG that gets that timing. Not done yet once again by Rooney, but everybody's dropping at least. Oxy for the support. Both of them fall on top of that. It seems as though the paranoia wasn't enough to support them. Nightfall out, Vanity down to 1 HP, gets sprayed through as well.
Yeah, tethered up easy. And yeah, it's gonna be a runaway for Moose. So, a little bit of a mid strat after the timeout we saw called a few rounds ago. Then towards A, Cloud9 has had a pretty good read on it, but NRG go back to B, back to being able to just aftershock out these trips, get themselves into sight. Overall, though, really nice job absorbing that early fight from C9. There hasn't been much action B main, and you see instantly how fast NRG plays reactive. I think that's one of the biggest things, too, and this one is throughout game 1, even 2, where NRG lost, the reactive style to each play C9 has almost pauses the round as teams readjust and figure out how to get back into it. It favors NRG so much.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was a slight hesitation for Cloud9 too after the dropping smoke to insert once again a player behind the map, behind a billboard just like they did before, and as they're trying to walk back out when a smoke dropped, you just saw it. Right there, Victor was able to make it through, some TPs across, and there's nothing really that you can do at that point when there's so many players and utility from NRG to overwhelm C9 on their attempt to surprise their opponents. But the economy is okay, right? We have a couple rifles still, only a shorty for Oxy, but The showstopper, satchels of the shorty could be definitely good enough, and they're going to try that again on that trap play with the camera.
Yep. Giving C9 just a little bit of the same look here, but with an idea for energy to also flex towards A. See if there's a rotation.
What a good read.
Ooh, seized up too. You're not going anywhere, Oxy.
I mean, Ethan was already waiting behind. You had the C's waiting, and then the high gear is the one that's going to bait out the rocket. So that's a great start by Energy, who, and a great call once again by Finesse, who just read that like a book.
You even saw FNS was over here with Sam to begin, and he ran back over to throw that cam in just to sell that fake even more. They go for what is a re-hit that C9 has to consider, but it's not a re-hit. They're moving towards the right side of the map, and Zeppa, always the anchor, hasn't moved just yet. Could be the one to thwart this rotation. It's going to be a lot of time before the rest of the C9 members get here, and it looks like Victor's ready to go.
Yeah, and after he broke that camera, he has to give up that spot. TP inside that site spot. Zeppa once again towards the back of the spawn, so Gate is also given up by Cloud9. All of them grouping up now towards
30
shop.
seconds left.
No utility left for Zeppa either for them to work through the smoke. They're probably going to have to go through the swing.
Triple face on the dumpster.
Vanity has Paranoia, shorty close, there's 1 for 1. But I don't think the Paranoia was thrown to allow the last 3 players to rotate back from the spawn. And that's all of C9 about to walk out one by one through the smoke. And one by one they fall.
Great control on that. You can see just on the minimap what FNS has in mind for these rounds. Say, okay, we took B really strong last time. They'll probably look for that again because we're comfortable at it, but no, it was an A play the whole time. Just really big on the misdirection here on Sunset. And it should be. Victor can get across the map in no time. You have to use that neon. And we're slowly seeing C9 fall behind in rounds now. 3 sheriffs, just the hero rifle out onto Rooney.
The Sheriff from Vanity does get a chest shot onto Victor, but the speed is quick, able to TP away though at least. Victor continue to high gear inside the site. Vanity finally manages to dodge all of that util. Stays alive for now, but the site's given up and Energy gets the plant down until the paint shells come through and drop Ethan. Through the smoke though, Crashy's giving it a look back over to Energy. 4 versus 4. Fast lane to allow now Victor to fall back towards B main, and it looks to be the spam game all over again.
Not ready yet.
Slow in. They even have a trip if they try to push here on the crossfire in B main.
C's being thrown, and there's a spray through the smoke. There's another tap, and we're just trying to find a timing off those reloads, but there's just so many players out from Energy towards this B main to really not give a chance now for Cloud9 to find that timing to fight back. Crashies 4 in the round as Energy are up now at 7-4.
They're just crab walking through the smoke, taking shots. They even planted on the left side pillar too, which makes it harder, so you see even more spam going through. Holy. They still were able to hit the shots though, get control. And actually the site take on this is just beautiful. Like, they didn't do anything extravagant, but the space being opened up for Victor, that smoke towards market, he slides in. Basically no one can trade that because you have more members. Then the haunt goes over stairs, back site, he slides into site again and has nothing to worry about. If it's clear, he gets to look at the entrance to the site. Yeah, nothing really Victor has to do other than aim at heads on that side entry. The utility is so good behind him. Off your feet, Oxy, and he gets thrown right into the fire, or line of fire.
Paranoias as well being thrown from both teams, so a stalemate to come across, and they're just trying to force the hand. The C9 are going to try to push back and fight back towards middle, but the Seekers does enough. It spots all 3, at least 3 out of the 5 up towards B-Link. Nox is at 1 HP after the first commitment of Energy towards News.
Anchoring inside here. Quick heal. And a quick clear. So good info grabbed at least by the Trailblazer. Doesn't go to just the wayside there. They pick up at least a few members firing Vandals at A main. But the B play, I think Victor feels so safe going into this site, the way they can destroy the trips and him taking space with the utility. Haunts up for Crashies. You're going to see that go over the stairs into sight. We might just get a fault line towards the right side too, so Victor's safe on this entry.
That's the thing, you give the space for energy, they're definitely gonna take it. Hot did get some information, but Moose still wins that fight against Victor. So no dive, no opening, no first blood, but at least the plant. A drop down for Vanity though, as Finesse is able to push right back out. Saw him trying to lurk across, crouching under the platform. Finesse just right next to their trip, forces himself, baits it out so that Som can pop up, but couldn't land the shots. He now stands alone, and there's Oxy with the shorty.
So many rounds we've seen C9 just press W at a time NRG's not thinking. Vanity dropping into sight. It was Moose off a cat on ascent, and NRG falls apart. It's hard to find that window, but Vanity and squad do it every so often. And a great anchor by Moose this time. They've been playing outside the site. This time Moose takes the fight, starts off the team to get a really nice retake here and make it a 7-5. Honestly, it was a bit of back and forth, but I feel like NRG kept gaining control there, and C9 was still able to pull a few in.
That was definitely a much needed round there for Cloud9. A very competitive half as NRG takes the lead, and the series will now conclude after this break.
Step into the ring. To the ring. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go.
7-5 half here for NRG on map number 3. And in the first half, it was Ethan leading the charge. No longer the IGL for the team. He's playing great.
This guy is dominating. I mean, all the rounds he has been stepping up, but no more like that clutch. He's in that 1v3 situation with 7 HP and just playing it to absolute perfection. Somehow winning those fights, isolating them too. Like, not only is he setting up his team, but the way he is approaching every fight he takes is elite.
He's an absolute menace, and in general, this team on their post plants, they were phenomenal, and it was because of him as well. He was proactive on the post plants, taking wider angles than his squad while they're setting up omen flashes and etc. And not only that, but Victor, you know, gathering space on the actual site hits, holding down his little lane, having people swing off of him. It was a sight to see for sure.
I do think in those post plants too, you're feeling a little bit of the pain of C9's comp, having the solo Sky as opposed to a second initiator behind it. Like when Ethan's breach is doing the things it's doing, and C9 just don't have that same firepower, NRG's strong fundamentals and coordination is outshining them.
So now C9 trailing 2 at the half go into this with an interesting new comp and really a big opportunity here. If they can come back and win this map, they will lock up a playoff slot for themselves and for Crew Visa as well. But if NRG want to stay alive, they've got to dig deep and close out this series. We'll see who takes it as we hop back in with your casters.
Thank you very much, Mimi. Indeed, we do want to know what the look of Cloud9 is going to be on this Sunset map, now playing with this double controller of Vanity and Rooney on this Clove. We saw potentially what could be come of a value of a Clove coming through with the amount of pop flashes that Zeppo was able to provide here for his team so that they could fight for space. Will that be the type of game style, that play style that C9 wants to bring now on their attack side? Pistol round now as they're going for late mid control. It's gonna stay pretty quiet for now. Not for NRG though.
Util used across the map here. We just saw Zeppa throw a guiding light into back alley, which was noticed, but everybody being seen on the left side here is gonna cause pause for NRG as they do not rotate out of position just yet.
There's that Util. A little bit of a stall coming through with the relay bolts thrown by Victor. None left. Actually, one left as he's going to fall back for a bit with a slide available for him in that kit. And with that, though, seems like C9 wants to push back towards the site, but they don't really have information of how many players are moving through and where their positions could be.
Just very big on inserting members into positions right now. Vanity here on the left side. You got the IGL away from the team, so this is going to be all up to the squad here on the right, but they're also leaving Moose in mid, so this 3 squad's going to have to work together here to trade a kill, or at least come out on top. Actually, it's only 2 now. It's like breadcrumbs here for Cloud9. They're just leaving one person every so often, just to make sure there's no flank on any of their positions.
30 seconds
Looks
left.
like Rooney just got spotted, though, from the back of the site. And that's Som trying to hold his ground. A push here towards Generator as Finesse drops 2. And that's the lack of utility, that single initiator that Dedes was talking about. Or that util was already used to try to find information at the beginning. But Moose, at least is trying to find some fight. 10 seconds left. Vanity is now left alone.
I have the spike.
Ghost upgraded. Has to stick the spike. An easy kill for Som. But yeah, the lack of util to try to entry right there towards that A site allowed Finesse to get those 2 picks.
It feels like they're so comfortable doing it. I specifically remember, it stays in my brain, when we had Zix on the post show saying, yeah, when we recognize C9's play, they just lack util use on that site take, and it could still be comfort, right? They push in, but they're not behind each other. Like, the pistol kills just to come from behind the box, one after the other. They have to at least maybe tether themselves, get those little ropes, make sure they can't be unchained. This is just, the 1-on-1s are too much for C9 right now. They got to fix it. NRG here going to pull that first round into their favor. And now go ahead for a hard A stack. So C9's chosen correctly, but it's going to be a hell of a post plant here. It's just basically a rush and plant for them.
They'll spot Som on a top of news. ADSing with the Bulldog, and it's just easy pickings. Nobody's trying to swing across here. Nobody's trying to push inside that smoke. Finally, some damage done. But there's always 1 or 2 players behind that initial play from NRG, and they convert the anti-eco.
You can see the members of C9 thinking it was a spam kill. So maybe he won't see me. They run in. Zeppa goes down again. Not having a great game. And yeah, another round, as we would expect from NRG there, just the low buy on C9, trying to get some money from the plant. But here's the weapons, right? The attack side has to hit strong. Ender mentioned it on the desk. This is not a double initiator comp coming in from Cloud9. It does seem to affect the amount of pressure, obviously, they're putting on. NRG's hit back with a breach and a fade. So what can they formulate? Or what can they do? Not even really leaving their spawn to start this one. They're going to go ahead and give a lot of map space to NRG to start. This could prove dangerous.
We threw a flash at the very beginning to see if there's going to be a contact from NRG for mid control. And still leaving Rooney the one that's going to be watching the flank. So that the utility used by Moose with this camera could support Cloud9 on early B main control. But yeah, it's just going back and forth right now. It's the long game for Cloud9, trying to force some sort of mistake out of NRG when they've already broke the trip earlier on towards this A site with the Prowler.
Yeah. And they got Crashies online here to watch down A main so early. See a lot of players doing that. Superman grabbing so many kills in situations like that. I mean, if you're giving NRG that space, they're going to take it. So very nice job by C9 to say, now back off of these forward angles. We're taking a little bit of the map back because it doesn't seem like they have enough control to do what they want to do just yet. Here towards mid, a camera's going to give all the info if Moose even tries to get up in here.
As it breaks.
Yeah, nice shot.
Pinch back towards the A site. They even heard the rotate, though, from Victor all the way towards the spawn. And the cage comes up. He's trying to get a spray across it, but all of C9 able to stay alive and move inside the A site. Plant attempt, 13 seconds left. Wow. Pushed out of it. Moose now tries to go for a second attempt, but no wall bangs coming in from the spawn.
Planted the spike.
It'll be a 5 versus 5 fight in a post plant now.
What a drawn-out round from C9. I don't think we've seen one this late throughout the entire series here. They're going to have to lock it in here for the retake.
Paranoia's going to hit 2 really bold. It's actually going to concuss Rooney and not give himself a chance here to get first. What a slide!
Double headshot slide!
And that allows here the rest of NRG to move forward. Oxy now left alone. There's that first, catching Ethan on a reload. But Ethan stays alive and wins it with the stinger.
Dude, Ethan is something else this series. What the hell? He cannot lose in any of these 1v1 situations, it seems. in another clutch round for him to come in super strong. And what was that from Victor? Sliding double headshot transfer? That's absurd.
Enemy remaining.
Yeah, the cleanup's definitely going to come from the teammates if you're hitting that much damage on your opponents. Beautiful retake here. And I got to say, C9 played that round really well without having the map control. They were retaking space accordingly, pushing NRG back off initial angles, and then they took the site really nice. And at that point, NRG's also staying back with 20 seconds left in the round because you don't want to be the first one going down. But still, the retake is just absurdly strong right now.
That's the thing. When they were still good to enter the site, that was the game plan for NRG. Look how far back they were playing towards that spawn.
Yeah.
And when they go for the plant for Cloud9 and they try to insert themselves across our setups out towards the A short, look at the amount of util. The Paranoia hit 2. They have the concuss coming out from Victor to even take down Rooney. So all those little nooks and crannies that you're trying to hide inside here for Cloud9, it's all going to get flushed out here by that util. So they have to rethink that. Maybe trying to find plans to work towards that spawn, but that's where it gets difficult because, again, you don't have refreshable utility on your initiator.
Your one initiator.
Exactly. There's not going to be more for you to push back towards the spawn to fight.
That goes there.
We'll get it.
This is a nice spot.
All right. Third time's a charm.
This goes here.
It's been a while. She gives up.
Been there, done the same. All right, towards the B side again. C9. They actually played the round really well when they feinted this early pressure, then controlled the map a little bit.
Gotta go.
I'd say if they can insert somebody a little deeper even on these rounds to get more info, they're better off. Not out, but a low buy on this is going to make it very tough. And it's up to Oxy basically blasting in.
And C9 haven't really gone for a full commit pop towards the B side, so they want to test it with the lower weapons. And it's the overdrive that gets to. It's just slide it across here and just bring that damage. And there's that third in the round.
Okay. I feel like NRG has hit a groove and they're just at 100 miles an hour on each one of these rounds. Really nicely done by Finesse to kind of read what these plays are and how much Cloud9 can do with this composition. I mean, going into this game, having a double initiator against what C9 brings with a single and 2 smokes, I'm sure FNS and the team were already discussing how they're going to take these rounds, what they would do if they even see the smokes, and to just basically make space for Victor to clear through. And that's what we're seeing.
It's just too dangerous right now, and in the eyes of Cloud9. This gives me reminiscence of when they played against Sentinels and not able to convert any attack rounds outside of potentially just pistols. And NRG has full control, and they're doing what you kind of wanted C9 to do. Just push forward, fight, gain that space, force them into where the stack could be, where the delay could be, and it's the Paranoia out towards the market from Som. It's going to push a couple of these players away.
Oh. That kill, Sam almost had his back to Moose there for a second, but just off the moment as Moose was peeking something else. And Sam is going to go ahead and get the safety, just chipped up a little bit on the damage. NRG is basically shoveling C9 over towards this B site, and they're going to be ready for the retake after this post plant.
So the paint shells to bring the trips towards the front. A pinch towards the B site from Market and B main, and once again, NRG comfortable of giving up the sites.
Yep.
And you look at the util that's still available for them for the retake. It's a lot. And Vanity is looking to push towards the spawn. Trying to find an opening, and nobody's pushing through back. Except for the flank of Victor. And now you're going to start swarming in. There's that haunt on the side. Headshot onto Zeppa. And he's playing Apex right now. Only Vanity is left. And that's only 1 kill to his name. And NRG are now at series point.
Neon on Sunset, the angles, the hits, it just you hear it coming, but you still can't do anything. It's just popping out of these smokes at just close to medium range. I was gonna say, with the fade and the Neon heading over towards B main, they have such great possibility to take it. They don't even need the util. Victor just pops off 2 shots. They didn't even need the breach util from Ethan to come into B main to take it. That's how much they are ahead in each one of these situations, because all that util is ready for the site. 12-5, game point by NRG is from the defensive side of Sunset, are just blacking out Cloud9 right now. to split across the map as they try to play a little default here just to read an energy push, recognizing that map control knowledge is too much. We'll see a B main control though for C9.
Saving grace potentially here, at least a trade. But they have Seekers. Now a showstopper after the Oxy kill onto Victor. A chance to turn it around, but no more smokes. Well, as I say that, I forgot they have Rooney, who is just playing A main the whole time on the first half.
And that's a good point. What have the smokes been doing that facilitate what Cloud9 wants to bring to the table? It seems like NRG is not worried about it. Here, play towards A main.
Showstopper out. He goes long range.
What? Wait, what?
Nate dodged it. But at least we're throwing C's nades, trying to keep Ethan cornered. Jumps out, finally gets picked off. Meanwhile, the Crashies has made it inside the site. There's that push forward, a three-player swing, this time towards the generator. Back and forth we go. But it's up to Finesse alone. A chance here for C9 to stay alive.
Spike planted.
Plant now down. Ult available for Rooney too. So he'll play the contact. He'll jiggle to find the information. Neural Theft also being thrown to ping out Finesse inside the back of this A site. You're just gonna wait it out. First contact will be Rooney no matter what. Finesse walks forward and Rooney crosses that line and stops him from crossing that line. And C9 is able to continue to fight.
Let's play towards B, but that was not the start. Cloud9 start doing a bit of their own map misdirection, playing both sites now. I think we just lack seeing C9 going mid, but maybe they don't need to. If they keep playing towards A here and keeping alert, maybe it's efficient enough for them to get a few more rounds here, bring us to 12-12. Tall task to ask for. Victor brings out the operator. The economy for NRG is there and ready to shut down C9 at every turn.
You see Oxy already rotating out here to group up with Rooney, and a fake flash towards B main for Zeppa. So they're trying to use this Clo vault potentially to just be the spearhead, to try to get inside this A site.
They have for it a good clear on elbow here with that Clo vault. Maybe a little fade utility after it. Crashies gives himself a little breathing room here. NRG with a peek on B main. Aren't going to be in the right spot. And now it's Rooney moving in with the overheal. They're going to get a plant. And yeah, looks like NRG is just going to consider this a very slow round on the rotation.
Moose able to drop one. That is Ethan. And looks like after that drop, Rooney doesn't want to go for the ult. He's just going to try to stay here into the astral plane and just smoke for his teammates. As they have 4 players anchored up for Cloud9, only one playing towards the extremity. That's going to be Moose. His role now is to high-low with Oxy to look towards the pawn shop. But NRG are rotating back towards the gate, and before the smoke blooms, Vanity is able to connect that kill into Finesse. And that will force the last 2 players to fall back and save their rifles into the next round, especially when Victor invested in an op.
Yep, which C9 have not heard yet. That op was on a B main watch. And that was Cloud9 starting at B main, right? Continuously putting Oxy there to start, looking for a few fights. As last round, Zeppa, or a few rounds, had been guiding light or using utility towards A. As you mentioned, we got that utility towards B and the movement towards A this time. So again, misdirection for C9 is what gives them the opportunity to take another round. A lot of work to do, though. And they have to crack through this economy of NRG. We're going to call a timeout here as we check the replay. Like we said, the op's still online. Not too many ultimates to be seeing here. But I think what NRG was doing really right on their defensive side is almost allowing that space to C9. When they take the fights early, it seems like C9 is happy to fight in the chaos and take the lower number fight every time.
We saw as well the flash here that Zeppa was throwing at the beginning of the B main. It's also to get contact. Again, maybe they don't know that Victor has the operator, but if it does get the ping, they do know that there's aggression coming out from NRG on the defensive side, and maybe that's also one of those calls that you want to pivot quickly. What you're seeing here on that previous round, there was a lot of confidence coming through from NRG. I mean, they won 5 rounds in a row since the pistol round here of the second half, so maybe a little bit complacent, and you saw that Crashies got caught off guard here towards the elbow. So you might want to try to start using utility a little bit more here to try to get the better read of where Cloud9 are looking to finish. Yeah. Because they are going back and forth and wrapping all the way through spawn every time.
Here's that fake too from Zeppa again. Guiding light, check. Possible catch on somebody just peeking that B main area. Like you said, giving that knowledge and intention of what B main might hold. A quick smoke out here from Rooney. Puts it in front of him.
Again, remember, NRG, they only need this one round to stay alive in the race for playoff contention. C9 is trying to bring this into an overtime and hopefully win this to clinch a playoff spot. Victor under heavy attack. There's a lot of utility being thrown. Metal on the top of that to debunk him as he decays away and swings back in. But it's 2 first blood scored by C9.
This is big. This is the momentum they need. They can start to get through these rounds, grab that off down.
Going out.
Wasn't even really used by Victor. And C9 are going to be able to hold this. That's an NRG save. A little bit of an up-tempo here by Cloud9. Gets them in towards the back of the site very fast. They still got the ultimate to use for Rooney if they want to try something out of the box in these rounds to come. But yeah, really nicely. Possibly getting the flawless on this round, but they're going to go hunting Vans. They could use a few more alt orbs on a priority like Zeppa for sure, or Oxy.
And also trying to hurt the economy on the side of NRG. A chance to come back on top of that. Yeah, Crush is able to get 2. And Ethan and Som still contested. One-way smoke on the top of news. Vanity trying to lurk around and try to find him. Looking back towards that B side instantly. Both of those players fall from both Zeppa and Vanity, working in tandem. And that's going to force all the buys for NRG in this next round.
All right. You can actually hear some drops going out as they go ahead and push the site. Clearing through. A little bit of a mistake here. Oxy jumping around the corner with his knife, and the team was still kind of pulling up the rear as they came in as the caboose. So not a big death. They still got the rebuy, and they're still very happy with how many survived in the round. Another buy here for NRG. Same on C9.
And look at these pings coming through. This time they're looking to fight against Rooney. Every time he jiggles up towards the elbow because he has this ult available. And this time they're able to fault line and fight back, but Rooney's moving in alone. So they've actually conditioned this for Cloud9 to start. So keeping Rooney inserted here, 4 players working up towards middle. They break the camera and potentially now starts breaking the rotate from NRG.
Absolutely. And you can see the attention here on the mini-map looking back. Now they have to watch over with that camera gone. A lot of worry has to be had about their defensive side now being an attack side for C9. It looks like the spike is actually going to commit here. They're going to try to split towards A, but I don't know how long these smokes last.
A dangerous one for sure, especially with the spike moving up towards the pawn shot.
Oh,
Pincer maneuver on both sides, and that's Oxy opening it up. Okay. C9 are controlling this A side of Sunset.
There's the smokes. That's what we're waiting for. We've seen a few where where Rooney was playing in his own smoke towards A. All of C9 basically did that for the last round. But these 2 smokes up towards spawn really making NRG feel uncomfortable on their own side of the map in a 4K from Oxy as he just laser beams the peaking members of NRG on that round.
You asked if they knew the timing of the smokes. Looks like Oxy definitely knew the timing of that one.
Yeah, I don't think NRG thought they were going to dissipate in 3 or 4 seconds as they approached that area. They got caught right out in the open on those peaks.
We talk about all the chances available for NRG, though. They've been at that point for a long time.
They have.
Just a matter of time until they start bringing these ultimates in their favor, too.
3 chances. Pushing in a very slow round. This is like watching the death ball. They're sitting on the mailbox back here in spawn. Trying to give NRG a different look, though.
You're going to hear all that, at least from the B main, so that's going to force the pivot now. C9 to tempo up towards this B side. Showstopper pushing some away down to 41 HP. And there's the overdrive towards the back of the site. But it's a twofer for Cloud9, the advantage coming through. And no opportunities for NRG to flip back inside the site. Ethan now getting caught towards the back by the dog. And he's now pinned. Met up with Crashies, who runs by and gets the headshot of the Vanity, and somehow it's a 2 versus 2. Spike is down. Crashies. Another one to Rooney, forces the res, Moose gets the pick. And Crashies once again is trying to get another momentum clutch for NRG to close out the series if it can. Camera pings him. He doesn't care to remove the dart.
Nah, use it.
Hot now out to swing out from Cloud9. And they are 2 away of pushing this into overtime on the attack.
And I think this is what the teamwork, what we've been looking for in terms of teamwork for C9. The triple face to back sight here. I mean, look at this. Everybody's swinging right now. It's not just one person. Everybody was on their W key as they hit this sight. And I think we've seen that be a little disjointed for C9 on some of these takes. They're literally standing in the same spot again for this round, just with a bit more to the right side. And they are going to give the cam to Rooney again to play this smoke, which basically denies this line that Crashies wants to get on right away, right? Walks up, but he's not going to see much and has to wonder what's on the other side. Already backs away from it a little bit. The push, though, from Victor is new for NRG. And there's a lot of support there just on the back from Ethan to fault line down through mid or tiles to deny a push on Victor.
And that bird actually got popped in front of the door. So that does get information if there's players pushing down towards middle or people peeking inside news, and now they realize that. For NRG, they fall back, close their door, give it up, especially with the lower buy that you have. You just want to let C9 walk into your potential stack, and it's a gamble now to rotate more members towards this A site. Well, maybe a second guess now from Victor.
It's like Oxy wants to either play with Vanity or go the other way. Man, they really like the way mid worked out for him last time. But do they have the smokes for it again? Looks like a contact play.
Vanity does have it, but they exactly what you're calling
it.
Just trying to walk across, and NRG staying timid on the control. And there's that timing.
What movement?
Ethan still in the back of the spawn. There's 30 seconds left. Soon they'll realize now that the A side is open, and Moose is going to be the one lurking and trying to cut the rotates. Able to drop the first one now, and as his cage comes down, he'll be met up by both Finesse and Som. And he'll clean both of them up. And somehow, we are one round away for Cloud9 to push this into overtime.
Who would have thunk it? The third map going to OT here, especially with how dominant, again, NRG has been. It feels like they are in control until they're not. It sounds weird, but somehow the game is just flipping night and day in an instant. And C9 seems to have all the momentum now. This is going to be a tough one. It is a buy-in here from the side of NRG with some low armor, though, as we get into it. Rolling Thunder's there for denial. And see how they play this round as C9 stays on their own side to start it off again.
This is a crazy call. Again, NRG not forced to use a Rolling Thunder before, making sure that their economy is right. But in the last round of regulation, an AWP comes out early for Vanity. Unorthodox play, as they've been so good in rotating across the map with these pinches towards this A side. It seems as though the call is to try to have them pick towards the B main, which might allow here C9 to move through.
Another smoke out you actually see towards A, just coming in right there from Rooney. That's going to make the NRG members at A think they might get a little bit of a play. It calls from the shadows in. Sam can deny that there's no members pushing, and you see the rotation coming in from B already.
Zippa picked up the orb, is trying to move in here so he can get a plant and get Seekers. It's not planted at the staircase, it's planted safe. Maybe now for C9 to have to fight inside the site. First blood then comes in for Finesse, who throws out that hat. Seekers then coming out as well for C9 as they're battling towards the back of the B site. That's a 1-for-1, big flash coming through, and Finesse somehow gets the kill while full blinded. There's a hat thrown once again, and we have a Rolling Thunder out on the defensive side. Disadvantage in terms of C9, in terms of the numbers left alive. All these folks coming through again, it's not really planted for them. Finesse gets another pick. Only 2 left alive here at Cloud9, and they're just spraying across the smoke. Finally, Victor commits onto the defuse. The double swing inside, a triple kill, and Vanity pushes us to overtime.
Extra innings on the docket here for C9 versus NRG. I don't think anybody had this on the cards, but we got it. Let's see it again. What a push. FNS doing everything in his power. A triple kill on the round. But the spams from Vanity here on the tough plant too, on the forward pillar plant. Everything against C9, but they come out on top. Even with the lower members, even in the 4v3 in that situation, they still get it, and we reset. We're back to OT, or we're going to OT, and we'll see what the buys are. No operators come out. Everybody looking for the full team play on this, because they feel like it's going to be a retake at this point with the power the sites are getting hit with.
And how close were they on the defuse, but Let's hold that thought. Vanity first headshot onto Victor.
Still
TP's
cooking.
away. Still trying to push forward his energy, trying to punish Vanity. As you saw, the trip came down, it's going to slow a couple of players, and C9 plays the numbers advantage in the first round of overtime.
And they have A main control right now, so this is an easy figure out for C9 that they can stay here. Zeppa just has to watch mid for a little bit of a peek. And yeah, you're right, that first blood is so big because it's Victor. Who's going to dash into sight now? Nobody. So they're going to have to use this util extra careful and be on each other's shoulder that much more for the side of NRG to get into the site.
Smokes came up towards middle. You saw the dog come down at the beginning as well. And insert it is definitely Oxy watching down towards the A ramp. So good map control allows Cloud9 once again to get another pick. And Vanity, over eager, tries to go for another peek. And yeah, she just gets punished by Som. Ethan now down to 10 HP through the smoke. Head shotted by the Phantom. Of Moose here on the top of the staircase.
30 seconds left.
On that flank. Spike's gonna go down, but I don't know if Ethan's gonna be ready for this.
And it's such a crazy plan, it's not for anything. And Som's alone in the back line. Traded out by Rooney. C9 with the defuse. And they are the ones at serious point.
Who and what is this team that has just awoken on the side of C9, especially from Vanity in these past few rounds? Are you kidding me? Able to start off with this. The early trip, not early trip, but the forward trip, allowing Vanity to get out even safer. One we haven't seen placed by Moose just yet on B main. But it did catch the side of NRG off guard and they couldn't get back in. Vanity's ready to close out this game with Cloud9. They are ready to lock in a spot, but we'll have to wait another minute as NRG calls a timeout to try and calm things down.
I mean, you kind of have to at this point. What was it, a 12-7 scoreline that they had for NRG? All these rounds corralled back here by Cloud9, pushes into overtime, now takes the lead, and this timeout could be very important. Remember in these moments, a couple of weeks ago when NRG had to play here on this map and played overtime, they did have Victor on a glass cannon op towards the B main. I don't know if it's going to be a call here that they want to utilize once more, especially with how Cloud9 once again have been looking for these extremity pressures at the beginning of these rounds on their attack side.
Great job getting the information that's just not allowing Finesse the movement they want anymore. I mean, think of how this is switched, right? The calls from Vanity that have gotten Cloud9 up through mid, behind NRG on so many of these rounds. It's kind of taking out the fact that C9 has to be in position to get these team fights on because they're finding the side of NRG players all the time, and that's an easy kill. One way to win it, just out stratting once you can't hit the shots, because NRG has been firing so strong today. Oxy still on top, 22, 21, 20 on that list. You can see everybody is fighting their hardest to keep this one alive on both teams, if you look at the scoreboard. But it is going to be game point for C9.
There's no op here for Victor, but they are definitely still looking for the control towards B main. Now the camera is set up. It's going to allow the players to rotate out, but look at C9 walking instantly on top of middle. Rare move here, as we talked about the amount of times they've been working towards the extremities. Victor holding towards the spawn, but it's a 1-for-1. Now Oxy looking to push back towards the Boba. TP coming back from Som to retreat back towards the B site. And Cloud9 are looking for this pinch. A final stand for both Finesse and Som towards the B. As the others are rotating, trying to find flanks. Everybody is isolated. There's that first lineup, but it's a 1-for-1. Site up for grabs for C9. And this may be the final moments of NRG.
It'd be a beautiful comeback here for C9. Remember, they're strewn about the map. NRG's gonna have such a hard time trying to clear all these angles. A first shot from Moxie. And Rooney is low here. If Ethan and Crashies hit these shots, they're right in the spike.
And Crashies hit the trip. They know he's coming B main. He's all alone once again in another clutch attempt. Trip now broken, camera is up. The first wall bang onto Rooney. Tap onto the spike. Last two players of Cloud9 back towards the market. Goes for that second tap. As the satchel comes up. The death split coming through. Not enough time. Moose comes out for the kill. Cloud9, welcome to the playoffs.
Cloud9 stun NRG. Coming out on top, coming back from behind. After Ascent, it looked dark. But they found the win on Sunset and Icebox. Never be worried about Cloud9 losing the first map, it seems. And man, you can see it on NRG's face. They're in control the whole time. How does the momentum go back to C9? The calls in mid. Vanity being able to figure out what the safest part of the map is because they didn't have the same util. This isn't an initiator comp to get in. It's a double smoke comp that's supposed to make their own angles and make sure they give Oxy enough room to do the work. And Oxy did the work today.
Yeah, that double controller was so good here for Cloud9. Towards the end, we're questioning it. It was the amount of smokes that allowed them to micro-scale up for the mid-control. So many pinch moments that came out from Cloud9 is how they worked towards the A side, pinch towards B, and the conditioning continued to be so good for Cloud9 once they took the attack side.
Moose on the loose with some crazy clutches here. I mean, crazy clutches all around. Vanity as well on Icebox had so many pivotal clutches against FNS in the 1v1s for the IGL. So cool to see them back against each other after 2 years, but the result going for Vanity and Squad on Cloud9 here after a hell of a fight.
The unfortunate news, though, for NRG fans, that also ends the hopes of NRG going into the playoffs. But there is still some good things to pull out of that, right? You're looking at people questioning these last-minute rotations and last-minute, player changes. For example, with teams like MRBR, like Fura, what's going on? And now with NRG, they had Som and Finesse join. It didn't look too good for the first few weeks, but they figured that out, and they definitely showed some success. They won last week against Crew, and it looked so good when they started the series here against Cloud9, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. You got to trust the words of Alexis. When you're winning or when you're playing and you're being a Cloud9 fan, losing the first map is just part of the script.
Yeah, the faithful are rewarded on this one. The C9 fans getting their victory, and it was hard fought. Not hitting on Zeppa, 6-16 this game, that shows you how much teamwork went into the game. The fact that Zeppa's only initiator utility was still there for Oxy and the team to get in and make these plays and get the frags on the people that needed to close out the rounds, which also needed a lot of strategizing and kind of adapting to the rounds, which Cloud9 missed on Ascent, but pulled it out in just absolute stars on the last two maps.
Well, at least with that, a big congratulations to Cloud9, and let's send it down to Geek Heavy down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
Hey, everybody, give it up for Cloud9! Moose! Congratulations!
Thank you.
How does it feel? So y'all are going to playoffs. You clinched. How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels a lot better than when we were down 7-12 or whatever, but it feels good now.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you heard me earlier doing the post. We had a halftime. It was during Icebox. I was talking about the girlfriend buff.
Yeah.
You got your girlfriend here. You got Alexis. She's in the audience. So are your parents.
Yeah, my parents are here. Yeah.
The girlfriend buff is a real thing, everybody. Yes.
It's real.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to kind of walk things back a little bit and talk about stage 2 as a whole, because y'all had a bit of a rocky start. Was there ever any doubt that that was so adorable? I saw that kiss. I saw it fly by. Anyways, was there ever any doubt that you all would make it this far?
At the start, there's definitely never any doubt, but I think we were losing. We weren't playing at all like ourselves, and then maybe a little bit of doubt crept in, but we kept trying new things and we kept grinding, and now we're in playoffs, so it worked out.
Yes, it indeed did. Now, let's talk about today's map specifically. I want to talk about map 1, which obviously didn't go in C9's favor. So I'm kind of curious, what was the thought process there? What was that, just y'all kind of filling out NRG, or what went wrong on that map in your opinion?
I mean, we knew they were going to pick that map, and obviously our results aren't too good on that map, but in practice, we're pretty good on that map. But I think maybe we've learned our lesson today, so I don't know if we'll be seeing it again.
Yeah. Now, okay, let's talk about map 2. Oxy was on fire, 33 kills. How did y'all work collectively to kind of assist him so that Oxy could just do what Oxy does best?
I didn't do anything personally. Like, you just sit there and listen to him scream, and you're like, all right, split one, Oxy is back, and hopefully we can keep that rolling.
Yeah, I mean, my man's was definitely powering up. And speaking of map 2, how did y'all just manage to kind of like maintain that mental fortitude to just to get to where we are today, to get to that map 3 and just ultimately win?
I mean, we know we're good at icebox, so I think the mental fortitude really came in on map 3 when we were down. They were on match point for, a long time. I'll give a lot of props to Vanity, our IGL. He kept us all dialed in, and he never showed any doubt that we were still on the map, so I think it helped us all.
I think it did indeed. Everybody, give it up once again for C9 and Moose.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to send things down to GB and the analyst desk, who are standing by with the one guy who seems to take umbrage with the girlfriend buff, Oxy.
Oh, man. Yes, indeed. There's Moose, absolute superstar. But we got a superstar of our own here on the desk to close things out. We got Oxy. Congratulations, man. That gave me, that aged me as I was watching it.
Me too. Trust me. You guys can't see it, but I got white hairs now.
You got white. I love it, brother. All right, first things first. Talk to me about the team's demeanor as you guys were starting that comeback, because you could see it happen. We were here chatting, and we were like, okay, this is happening. Oh, this is a comeback. This is real. It round after round. Was that the vibe with you guys as well?
Okay, well,
or was it round by round?
7-12, I think. And we were just sitting there like, all right, guys, we lost pistol. It's all right. Let's just play it like a scrim. And then we just played round by round. That's all you got to do in these comebacks, round by round by round, just bring it back slowly. And then all of our momentum started building up.
The pressure's on them at that point.
Yeah, the pressure's on them now.
Yeah.
And then, we just smoked them out.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, you have also, I think, as an individual in the league, have been one of the most, up front, I'll just tell you, refreshing individuals to have in this league, because your passion, your energy, all that stuff. Do you feel like in the last few weeks you wanted to try and mix things up, change it up, try and not be so front and center, or do you feel like now you have that opportunity? You're like, screw it, I'm gonna just pop off every time. I'm gonna go Super Saiyan every time. I'm just gonna let my voice be heard.
No, 100%. I try to tone it down a little bit, but then I realized that's not my personality.
Brother, don't turn it down. If anyone ever tells you, listen, if there's one thing I've learned in my career, it's if someone tells you that you got to up your energy, that's a problem. If they tell you to bring it down, I'm always fine. Be up here, and then you bring it down later on. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, so I don't know. We just had some inspiring moments, and I just fuck it. I'm screaming now.
and then it worked. Did scrim start on icebox for you?
Oh, I don't know. Hey. Well, I don't know what happened on set. I was dreaming. I don't know what happened. 313 is crazy.
Yeah. It was crazy for us because we were like, okay, C9, you're gonna do something, and then you did. You did big time. Was there a sense of, I guess, after you guys had that moment when you guys all get up, talk to one another, what did you say to each other there after you made that incredible comeback?
After the comeback, wow. Beautiful. The adrenaline hit me. I don't know what was going on. I was just sitting there breathing. I don't know.
It felt like, even towards the end of Icebox, but especially on Sunset, the rounds were just crazy.
Yeah.
There were so many different rounds where you guys were able to poke up into top mid and get behind NRG. Was that something that you I don't know, was that something you were looking for in the game plan initially, or just something you stumbled into? Because obviously the first, the start of that attacking half was really rough for you guys.
Yeah, I think it was something we stumbled upon too, because it worked. It started working a lot. We walked top mid I don't know how many rounds, and then they just never turned around, and it kept working and working. It was if it keeps working, then might as well do it. So I was yeah.
Fair enough. No, very impressive. Now, you guys are in an incredible position. You've locked yourself in for the playoffs. You also did a solid for the boys over in Crew. They're locked in as well. Given the, how the stage had started and the way it has gone at this point, how has the team been throughout this entire experience? Because it had to have been frustrating.
Yeah. Well, we came off on the wrong foot with G2. I mean, honestly, when we started playing against G2, we were oh, wow, we're looking good. We were 8-4 half, 10-2, 8-4. Came back, I don't know how it happened, but we came back on 2 of the maps, and we were oh, okay. And then the week after we went into it, I don't know what happened. We were down, demotivated. I don't know what happened. We got off on the wrong foot, definitely. Yeah. And we started losing a lot of scrims and stuff like that. But then after, after we played Sen, we're wow. We smoked out and damn, we got to change something.
That was a wake-up call for you.
Yeah, we woke up, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think we just started playing like we did on Split 1.
Did you think that was affecting you, like, individually as a player, too? Because, like, you were lights out in Stage 1. Fantastic. And like, it didn't feel the same in Stage 2 until literally today. It's like, okay, he's back, you know? How did that affect you?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I feel like I was getting shit on. Fuck it. I don't know. The G2 game, 7 games, I won't be
I want you to
afraid
get fined. Don't keep
sorry. My fault, guys. My fault.
It's okay, brother. I love the energy. Keep it going.
I was getting pooped on. And
saved.
Well done. Well done.
And I don't know. I guess today I found my confidence back. So, hey, time to win.
Yeah, you did. You certainly did. We do have a question from the Twitch chat there. It says, Oxy, how does it feel to be in the ranks of best duelists in the game? That was from Yuhuana, excuse me. Thank you for the submission. Do you feel like you're in the ranks of best duelists of the game?
Me, my parents always told me not to be boastful. It's stuff like that, prideful.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Keep you humble.
Yeah.
How much video games do they play, though?
Huh? Oh, none at all.
Well, then say whatever you want.
True. I would like to say, like, there a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm definitely up there. Definitely not yet. But
you think
I
there's
just
more
keep
for you
working.
to do?
Yeah, I have so much to learn still, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, let's not forget, this is still, your first season playing in this league. How have you feel like, because we haven't had many opportunities to chat here, how have you grown as an individual? Like, as a person, teammate, being in this squad, being present in this environment all the time, how have you grown?
Well, I definitely, because I moved out from home.
Yeah.
It's my first time coming out here. Not living by myself. I live with the team, but, like, they take care of me and all of that. But I think I became more mature.
Yeah.
A little bit. I wouldn't say a lot.
What are your teammates back there were like, word? He said that?
And I think, honestly, I became more confident.
Have you learned how to cook? Come on, man, brother.
You're all good. You're all good.
You're okay. To be fair,
Same.
keep clicking heads. You'll learn how to make eggs later. You know what I'm saying?
I do remember the first time we talked, though, and here you said, like, I don't know, correct me if I get the quote wrong, but you said you were told not to think.
Yeah.
That was like your job was not to think.
100%.
Do you think now?
Oh, 100% not. If you hear the comments in our videos, like 10 seconds in the round, I'm like, wait, what are we doing, guys? I do it every round, so many times. But,
my gosh, dude, you're something else. But I respect it so much, and I think that's part of the reason why people have come to really enjoy watching C9, why they enjoy cheering you guys on. Seriously, and you guys, the passion, never lose that. Seriously, never lose that.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and where we are right now in this competition, because thanks to Cloud9, Crew Visa have also qualified. So there you can see 5 teams locked in for playoffs. We have 1 spot left for grabs.
It's crazy how if you lost this
insane,
game,
bro.
there would be 6 teams still fighting for 3 different spots, and now it's literally up to 100 Thieves versus Evil Geniuses, and they play tomorrow. The winner of that game is in, and we've set our playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks Cloud9.
Yep.
Made next week's games a little bit different. I mean, any thoughts on that potential matchup with 100 Thieves and EG?
I think 100 Thieves are kind of like us, and they got off on the wrong foot. And they haven't been playing like up to their standard. And EG, I don't even know what happened to EG. Is EG still, like, I don't remember the last games they played.
They played against 11. They played like John the Sage on icebox because they started moving away from the ISO comps.
Yeah.
And they got kind of smoked by Lev, not gonna lie.
I mean, I don't know. I think it will be an exciting match to watch, though, because definitely any team can win, but...
Yeah, no, hey,
Yo, this guy could cast.
This
Get
guy,
him up there.
get him in
Anyone
the booth.
can win.
Get him in the booth. All right, well, as you guys know, we only have 1 match tomorrow, and you heard from expert analyst Oxy himself. It's going to be EG versus 100 Thieves, and this is going to be a pivotal matchup that you do not want to miss, because the last spot for playoffs is up to grabs, and one of these 2 teams are going to claim that spot.
And it's not just that. Either you have the defending world champions in EG not making it, or our stage 1 champions, other teams not being able to go back to a back-to-back international. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, bro, this joint's messed up.
Yeah,
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Well, in any case, though, I mean, that's going to do it for us today. Oxy, my brother, thank you so much for joining us, man. Absolutely amazing stuff. Can't believe Cloud9 manages to make the comeback happen. They lock in playoffs. That's going to do it for us here today. It's it for the entire crew and myself. We thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Don't miss it. It's a massive matchup. 100 Thieves versus EG. We'll see you then. MIBR Furia take the stage as we see who's going to manage to come out on top in this clash of the Brazilian teams here. MIBR looking to pick up their first win.
They will potentially have a crossfire here at top mid. Shanti almost caught out there. Liasi, a golden opportunity goes. Khalil comes in for the other side. Rich here knows he's going to be under pressure, but Arzin on the flank. He's found 2. That's it. Timing up with the smoke. Oh, Mazin, you're not going anywhere. Shanti's heard this and has gone off the angle. Noswallow couldn't get away, and it's Arzin again. This guy is relentless. Mazin now being pushed here inside Boba. Aftershock to force NW0 off the Tavik. Already found 3 in this round. The Furia get the job done. An awkward first half. Some weird landings, but Havoc comes alive. And NW0 holds the line for contact talk. Trying to be 2 there any other day of the week, I'm sure of it. The route over the top of 410 into Crows and then to Raptors. NW0 starting to feel that confidence. Too many things to shoot at, perhaps as Parla forces his way in. Khalil goes for it anyway. Wingman defuse denied. Khalil holds his ground and he'll find 3 for the round. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, Parla springs to life there, coming down on Gen. And that is that. MIBR are all over it, expose her underbelly. As Furia once again assert dominance.
A massive matchup is about to take underway here as we got NRG versus Cloud9. Set the stakes yet again. NRG need to win this to stay alive in VCT Americas.
Paranoid now comes out. There's the first contact by Finesse. Clean on that shot with the stinger. The fragment left here by the KO. Long range with the Sheriff. Ooh. That's Oxy for them to close in on the Zephyr. And Oxy lands that shot with the operators. Ethan goes for the hero play on top of the staircase. Jiggle peeks to see the last one, and not a chance for Vanity to come through. Cloud9 crumbles to NRG on Ascent. What
a first map. 1 minute now.
And everybody's looking down towards under the pipes, and there's Oxy scoring through with that rain off.
Victor, too. There's so many first bloods in the series already to start. He'll get a second one.
Wait, he's out of it. Back through. Gets a headshot of Sob. Oh my God! It's a ball 3. How did you do that, Sob? 4 versus 4. Oxy trying to close that gap. Back in with a shorty. Close range headshot of Ethan. Locks up for the headshot of the Sob. The clutch now for Cloud9 as they bounce back on their mad pick of Icebox. There's that spike. There's that first kill. There's that second swing. He has 2 flashes to work with. Runs across. Ethan with the Red Bull clutch. Pincer maneuver on both sides, and that's Oxy opening it up with 4 in a row. The discipline coming through. Not enough time. Moose comes out for the kill. Cloud9, welcome to the playoffs.
Cloud9 stun NRG.